Hello everyone and welcome back to WolfQuest, where we are here with Petra, Charon, and the Steadfast pack, and we're checking out the new beta for the Persistence Packs updates. So I think, the biggest issue here is going to be territory, and so for as good as it is that the pups have had some time out and about, I think we're going to let them finish eating and then make haste to mark the territory, because Petra's definitely worried about that. She's always felt most confident with a big territory, and so having stranger wolves just a hex away potentially is not ideal in her eyes. It's honestly kind of scary, and I think she's eager to resolve that situation as quickly as she possibly can. So I think she's gonna let these guys finish eating. They're getting used to their newly strengthening legs a bit, but there will be more time for that later. I think for now, we're gonna send them back in the den. We're gonna take Charon with us. Oh, wait, never mind. He's fed them some more. Let's maybe make sure that they get the chance to eat still, and then we'll send them in the den and head out. Alright, we do have to be a little careful here because this territory seems fairly strongly marked. I would not be surprised if we run into some Lamar Canyon wolves here, but that, I think, is just some mule deer. We're gonna try to claim this without conflict if we can. Maybe the wolves have already crossed back out into their own territory. Nope, it would seem not. And we have two new wolves to add to our known wolves. We'll check on that in a second. Okay, you're from Lamar Canyon, 1401F. Fortunately, you're fairly intimidated, but we do have to watch Charon's health here. However, 1401 is pretty low herself. I don't know that. Oh my gosh, I don't know that Petra inherently wants to go for the kill, but she's not about to take chances after everything she's been through. She has no qualms doing what it'll take to protect her pups, and if that means ousting these intruders and expanding her territory, then she's not going to hesitate. 801 is a pretty low number. I wonder if we go back to this page. Yep. That's the pack leader. He's 6 years old. 801 is a fairly low designation. Generally, the lower the number, the older the wolf. In fact, I think, Petra's technically is an 800 designation too. It won't always line up exactly for player wolves, I think. But, that's worrying. That's real worrying. We're gonna go back and claim this, but it seems one of the neighboring pack leaders has turned up himself to say hello, and, well, that was anything but a warm welcome. Now, one thing about the known wolves that's pretty cool is you can see we actually have the option to mouse over and rename these wolves. We can do that for the dispersals, who are both still alive, by the way, or we can do that for these guys. So if a wolf makes a particular impression on us, we can give them a nickname, and that's something that I'll probably leave at least somewhat up to you guys. You're often fond of making note of these things in the comments or in my Discord server, which is open to channel members, patrons, and to Twitch subscribers. So often we'll take note of little things there as well. So if you guys are noting these things down, that's something that I'll try to pay attention to, and if a particular wolf stands out, we might end up giving them a nickname. In this case, it might be that pack leader who showed up personally to give a very frosty welcome to Petra and Charon. But if you do happen to notice something, definitely feel free to point it out. It's going to be a little harder for this series in particular, because again, I'm going to be pre-recording most of this, but especially through the years and through a lot of series that I am playing and posting moment by moment, where I'm recording and then having time to read comments afterwards, we can probably take more advantage of that nickname system to mark out notable wolves who stick out in our minds, and that way when we see them, we'll see their name more readily and realize, oh, this is someone with whom we have a history. We can also see what becomes of them over the year as they grow or potentially end up perishing, as is the fate of all too many wolves on the slopes of these wild mountains. So definitely keep that in mind as you watch the friends and foes that we encounter throughout this series, because if a particular wolf sticks out in your mind, you might give him a nickname, and if your name catches on, it might be one that we actually include in-game. There actually is an elk herd here, and I think we'll go ahead and seize this chance to hunt. After all, we are getting pretty hungry, and we could stand to bring back some food for the pups, even though we fed them most of the way up to full, I think. Let's see if we can spook these elk into running, that is. We might have our work cut out for us here. Possibly, possibly. These elk really don't want to run. Okay, well, let's take drastic measures then, and maybe start attacking on the outskirts. They are still just standing still. Okay, there we go, finally. In that case, we may not want to go after this one in particular. Some of these guys probably have much lower health than she does. She's not our best option here. In fact, maybe you? You seem like you could be a bit weak. Maybe? No, one of the rest of you? What about this guy? You're slowing down, alright. You are thinking about turning back. Yep, you're pretty weakened. Even though you are a spike elk. Ouch, that hurt a little bit, but it looks like... Oh no, Charon's got a minor injury though. That's a little less than ideal. Well, in any case, the elk is down, and that'll be our food for the afternoon, but that ended up being a bit dramatic. I definitely think Petra is going to be more... not that she wasn't concerned for Charon's safety, but she was very afraid she would never find him again. Now that they're back together, she does not want to take the chance of losing him again. Oh my gosh, we've got more company. 1002M. Who are you? Well, I need to save my stamina a bit first off. Oi, get off of him! No, absolutely not. This is Rescue Creek. Yeah, I had a feeling that is whose territory we're in. Oh boy, at least he's come alone, but he's still quite determined. And oh man, look at Charon is going for him though. Good heavens. I had forgotten how intense Charon can be. He does not mess around. He's very much... Okay, we'll let him go. He's running. Petra's not typically one to go for the kill, I don't think. But yeah, Charon can be a bit scary at times. He's sometimes a bit of a grim soul, but I definitely think that he can be quite caring as well. We've seen him with the pups. That's a whole cliff that I almost fell down here. This is the scary thing about Amethyst Mountain. I'm gonna just go flying off a cliff one of these days. But yeah, despite his fearsome appearance, he's definitely a caring soul underneath. But to those who make him an enemy, watch out, it would seem. Oh, is our scent post back here? Yep. Let's go ahead and mark this before Rescue Creek gets any other ideas. Well, we're exhausted, but we have pretty much made it back. And I think Petra's feeling a little bit better at the very least. Her territory's still far from where she'd like it to be, and oh good, it seems like the pups have gotten their footing a little bit better. But yeah, if we look at our territory here, you can see we at least have a 1 hex buffer. I think she'd feel a lot more comfortable if we have all this claimed, and ideally she'd like a full 3 hex buffer, but that's not gonna happen for a little bit, and we already have stranger wolves gnawing away at the other side of it, so we've got to be careful, and we need to pace ourselves here. Petra does know she can't do everything all at once. She's got to make sure she takes breaks to take care of herself and her pups, and Charon as well. But I think for now we'll go ahead, we'll let these guys get some rest, because Petra's pretty tired, and while I don't think that any predators would be after us just yet, It's better to be safe than sorry and make sure that we meet the new day with a full bar of strength. Now that's better. I think Petra's feeling a lot better rested, a little bit on edge, not wondering how quickly the predators will have found this place, and it doesn't look like our territories has decayed too much, but the Molly's pack has been reinforcing their borders, so that's something we'd do well to be cautious of. I'm also a little bit suspicious of this decay happening here. I know it could just be because those territory hexes were marked a bit ago, but I think Petra wants to go see if that is actually being claimed, because that is a thing that we may need to worry about. First, though, we want to make sure that we raise the affinity so that these guys aren't trying to leave the den while we're gone. And to be honest, I think we might head out there solitary first and then try to have Charon come join us when we get over about that point or so, because I don't think we'll have too many problems buffing up the territory when it's still what we have claimed, but it will be good to not lose too much affinity right away. Charon, I know you are very, very glad to be back with us again, but could you watch the pups for a little bit? I don't think this task will require both of our strengths. These aren't from stranger wolves, but I do wonder if they could be the reason that our territory is decaying. I'm not certain if dispersals drop territory, but we do seem to have some lingering about here. And in the name of safety, I think Petra may escort them out. This is the Pinnacle dispersals, I think, and those same Cougar Creek ones. Yeah, these are the males that we found earlier. But the Pinnacle females seem to be over this way. We should probably go after both of them, but my priority is kind of on these Pinnacle wolves, because I would like to meet them. We do want to flesh out our known wolves after all, especially since we're mostly checking this out for the first time. Okay, right down this way by the look of it. Let's go give these dispersals a bit of a warning, just to let them know that they should be kind of cautious whose territory they tread into. Oh, that looks like that could be them up there. I would imagine it is. Oh, they're not even in our territory. Is this even territory that we care about claiming? To be honest, I don't really think so. I will still get close enough for them to show up. Okay, 1006F, who are you? They're already running. I just want to see your ID. Okay, 14. Oh, hey. Oh my goodness, they are more hostile than I expected them to be. All right, well, no, this we're not going to stand for. Yes, you better keep going. Just stay away from our borders here. I don't know if you realize whose territory you're at threat of trespassing into, but trust me, you don't want to be fooling around with the Steadfast pack. And I don't want to be fooling around with those bison. Oh, there's a mule deer skull here. Well, perhaps we'll retrieve that and bring it with us. We're on our way back, and I don't think... It has been interesting to see both Petra and Cassia grow up, because I feel like they've matured in very different ways. Petra went from being more reckless and thrill-seeking to being more level-headed and quicker to make peace, I think, whereas Cassia came from a place of great confidence and has honestly gotten a bit more paranoid and erratic. She's much more worried about the threat of constant attack, especially after everything that she went through in her previous season here. It's been interesting to see how the cousins have grown up and ended up acting quite different, even though they came from a similar place starting out. It's also interesting that Lamar Canyon is where we've made a great deal of connections, because actually it's Aiden who, and that's Petra's brother, who ended up taking a mate from that pack. That's where Raven hails from, so curiously enough, they don't seem too fond of our presence here, even though there's some distant relation that doesn't quite mean as much in the world of wolves. So it's definitely an intriguing setup, to say the least. But I think Charon should be on his way. Yeah, he's following behind us here. We're almost to this carcass. Let's just make sure that we get some food. Maybe we'll take a brief stop by the den on our way back to retrieve this. There. Oh, spike elk antler. Well, that's not quite what we're looking for. We're looking for a spike elk carcass, but that is quite cool as well. Hey, you're stealing from the carcass. No, give that back. Get out of here. Get out. Leave. Did you drop your dang meat chunk? You should have. Yeah, I think you did back here when you're running away. We're gonna eat that because, man, they really are just trying to escape with anything they can get. No, you don't. Not fooling around with you. And you better not be fooling around with me either. Look how much of this they've eaten. Goodness sakes. Well, hopefully Charon will get here soon so that we don't have to worry about them trying to steal more. Now, this territory may be a bit of a risk. Ooh, especially with these cliffs. I'm not too fond of that. That's the scary part of Amethyst Mountain. Sometimes it's just steep slopes all the way down. And we've got to be kind of careful because this could be, oh boy, we're gonna slide most of the way, I think. But what I was gonna say is we're heading into some firmly marked territory here. Oh, and I do smell stranger wolves. We could be in for a real time at the bottom here, and it looks like we're gonna slide right down just the whole way. Uh-oh. Oh, Charon is following us. Careful, bud. Oh, I see another name, though. I saw a name go by. Yeah, we gotta be careful. You look like Charon, and I don't think he's too happy about that. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I just wanted to get away. 1000M Rescue Creek. Oh boy, well there's no way out if we don't win this fight. Okay, you might not be the most hurt. Where has your companion gone? 1400F. 1400, 1400. Oh, neither of them are very hurt. Okay, back to attacking you it is, because, oh boy, we need to watch our stamina too. Yeah, I had a feeling there was gonna be a welcoming committee down here for us. No, you need to leave because I need this territory to defend my pups. You may look like my mate, but you are not going to receive the same welcome as he. All right. Well, with that business dealt with, let's go ahead and give a howl. We should look at some of the wolves we've been meeting, too. I think we've actually... How many have we met from each one? Okay, we've met 3 subordinates from Rescue Creek. Yeah, 1002 was the one that we had met previously. What happened to that skull, too? It's right over here. I don't think Petra's overly attached to this mule deer skull, not in quite the same way that pigeon was, but... she's still claimed it as her own. She's gonna carry it with her as long as she reasonably can. But before we... okay, let's not run off a cliff. You're back! I do remember you. You're the one we were just talking about. You should get out of here. Especially when you are one wolf and we are... oh, really? You're gonna stand there and just... oh my goodness. He really didn't even flinch. You're a bold one. But that boldness can easily toe into recklessness. Go on, get out. You're no match for the two of us. It's brave of you to think that you can take us on, but be careful that bravery doesn't turn into folly. Alright, he should go as well. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, I want to get across to that scent post before something else happens. Before we run into more problems. We need to make sure that we get this claimed and their territory weakened. Where do we even want to put the scent post, though? It's gonna be a nuisance to get up and down these cliffs. I guess maybe we'll place it over here. We're gonna have to find a way that's easier to get down here and mark, and I was hoping we'd be able to claim this one too, but I'm kinda not sure we'll be able to. We're running pretty low on affinity, we're also running pretty low on stamina, and I would like to get back before either one of those drops to a concerning degree. Although, you know what, if we're gonna step into this territory anyway, we may as well just claim it temporarily. Let's just wear it down really quickly here, and we'll put a marker here for the time being and then move it later. all we need for now is to just make sure that we claim over it. Well, we've got one issue, which is that we made it all the way up to the top and we found ourselves rather cut off from the one hex we still need to fully claim. That said, with our energy levels being what they are, I think Petra's gonna leave that one be for now. Hopefully the Stranger Wolves will leave it alone. They might reclaim it, but she doesn't feel like trying to scale those cliffs and head all the way back up again. There will be another day, and there will be one where she has more energy with which to do it without worrying about her pups having to escape the den, or starting to escape the den while she's gone. Hello, elk herd that is just chilling here. For now, I think she and Charon are going to head back, bring this skull back with them, and make sure the pups get fed and played with. And here we are, home sweet home. And it looks like the pups have been eagerly awaiting our return. There's an interesting new skull for them to check out, too. Something curious, something that they'll eventually have to get used to from their hunting once they learn how to do that, but that's a long ways off yet. So for now, I think we're just going to spend some time playing with them, feeding them, and we will be naming them in the next episode, but that's not going to happen right now. So if you want to get your names in, make sure you do that quickly, because again, we're not going to have as long of a period between this episode and naming the pups as we usually do. It's just going to be a day or two, because again, I'm pre-recording a lot of this series, and that needs to get done. So we're not going to have as much time to name the pups as usual. So make sure you get those names in quickly if you want to have the chance of seeing them used in game. We will be drawing these pups' names from the entries that you guys send into the comments. So all of them will be named from that, but not all names will be picked. You're always welcome to try again in the future, though, if your name does not end up being picked. But with that, I think we are going to go ahead and leave this off here for today, because it is getting to be about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.